So you went from a teacher, because I was thinking about this the other day. I tell you who I was thinking about. I was thinking about Ayanna.
Yes, Miss Dow.
So she is, I'm sorry, Miss Dow. She is now, what, Austin P?
Yes.
Principal or assistant principal, something like that.
Yes.
And so I've known her, she's a year under me, and I've known her my whole life. And she was friends with my first wife and my wife now. Anyway, she's a great person, right? And great for the community. Yeah. But I was like, as an educator, is that how it works? Like, you are a teacher and the goal is to be a principal, and then what is it, board? And obviously you've jumped into a different position. But how does that feel being an educator? The difference from being a teacher day to day to going into administration?
Well, back eons ago when I started in 2000 and 2001, there were limited opportunities for growth. Mm-hmm. So it was either you teach, you become a head coach, or you go into admin. But now, as society as a whole has evolved, I mean, you have all types of opportunities now. Academic coaches, learning loss coaches, Title I, blah, 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 blah. But during the olden times that I went through, I actually only taught school for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And I was blessed with an opportunity in 2003 to become an assistant principal at Crestview Elementary. So I've been an administrator, elementary, middle, high, board level, little bit of everywhere. And so you asked me, what is that like? I mean, man, I don't want to give a cookie cutter answer. Because I think...
Well, here's why I ask you. No, I don't mean to interrupt. There's a reason I ask you. One thing I have found interesting as I advance through life, too, is, we're all sort of subject to our perspective. And our perspective is based on our experience. Yes. And as an example, when I was a deputy, I was a patrol deputy for a long time. And that was the guys that are in the car, going around stopping the cars. And I had a sergeant or a corporal above me, and then they had brass above them. I was arguably the slick sleeve low man on the pole, but I was I had a different perspective when I was the deputy, and there are certain things I would complain about that then I didn't understand because I became a sergeant.
Yes.
And when I became a sergeant, all of a sudden now I had to handle these guys, their payroll, I had to discipline them, and then my perspective shifted.
Yes, it does.
There were things that I didn't anticipate or see. Yes. So I was just curious if there was that kind of shift from being teacher to admin.
Oh, yes, man. Yeah. So I even take it a step further than that, Jerry. I've held every job in public education except superintendent. So when I was a UT Martin undergrad, I was actually a custodian during the summers. We clean up Martin Westview, paint, etc. Then I would come home on holidays. I was a substitute teacher at Covington Middle School at the time. I've been just about coach to every sport, referee, assistant principal. So literally, if you look through my resume, I have worked at every capacity with the exception of being the superintendent, and I have zero desires. I refuse to even take a superintendent's licensure test because I just, but so when saying that, yes, there's different lenses that if you go through that, I really think help bless me as a leader.
Sure.
Because when you look at the experience I knew exactly how my custodians felt because I was a custodian. I knew exactly how the subs felt because I was one, teacher, et cetera. So hopefully as I'm heading into year 23 of leadership, I've been very blessed to be a part of some great teams. Hopefully those experiences gave me a perspective and a sense of empathy, but yet added, because I'm really big on accountability and pushing folks, but I really felt like that helped me to frame it up to the folks that I had to push and encourage.
Sure.
To be empathetic or make it relevant, and it didn't come across the wrong way. It makes sense? That doesn't make sense.
No, it does. I mean, and I think leaders in general, the more diverse a background can often be good. I think part of the reason, and I'm not tooting my horn, but I'm a really good defense lawyer, and part of the reason is because I was a cop so long.
Right.
So to me, I saw both sides of the coin. And even now, when I cross-examine law enforcement officers, I'm very aggressive with them, but it's because I did that job. Right. And a lot of them come afterwards to me and are like, hey, how can I improve this, or did I do this right, and I try to work with them on it. But my point is, I think that experience is very valuable. It's almost invaluable to be a good leader in different positions. And I say it because I'm sure right now, maybe even watching, I don't know, there are going to be some teachers, and I know that at that level they'll fuss about admin doing this or that or the other, and may not have the perspective of what you have to juggle when you're in those positions.
Yes.
So I was just curious about it.
Well, it's a lot. I mean, budget. You have federal policy, state, LEA. What I loved about the Covington job, I mean, I've had multiple jobs, but I used to always joke that to me, Covington High was a mixture of O'Brien County and Melrose High School put together. And you know what, Jerry? I loved every bit of it.
Yeah.